Writers, we write because we feel that, you know, this is what we're supposed to do.
I knew I wanted to be a writer because of the influence of Louisa May Alcott and Little Women.
Gwendolyn Brooks asked me one time, when did I know I was going to be a writer? I said, oh, around 8, 9 years old. She seemed surprised. She said, well, I was around 11 or 12. I said, better late than never. And she cracked up.
And for the first time in my life, as I read Black Boy by Richard Wright, I was reading words that were not insulting to my own personhood.
I used to take my daughter Julia to the Goodman Theater and see all the children's plays. Rumpelstiltskin, Snow White, Hansel and Gretel, and so forth, Cinderella. Yeah, and I recall one day she asked me, are there any plays about black kids, about us? And I thought about it. And so Black Fairy was really written in narrative form.
One night, I sat down and in a burst wrote about 7 poems about spiders, one for each culture. So that spring in 1983 led to a 9-year investigation and meditation on spiders that culminated in the book Dark Legs and Silk Kisses, The Beatitudes of the Spinners, which was published by Northwestern University Press in 1993.
I started Third World Press in 1967. I lived in Inglewood at that time, in a basement apartment about the size of, this table back here that I shared with other animals, And I was, at that time, attending Wilson Junior College. And so I asked Johari Amini and Carolyn Rogers to come on board. Let's, come on, help me with this press, this Third World Press. And we started with $400 and a mimeograph machine.
In all of these protest novels, whether male or female, the protagonist in the last chapter discovers just what white racist America is about. And they usually die. I decided my protagonist would know this before he even came on the scene and would have made a decision about what to do about it. He wasn't going to go through the whole book and suffer the slings and arrows of white racist bigotry and discover in the last chapter, oh my God, this is the way these people really are. When he came on the scene, he already knew.
I tried to create what I call a holistic art, not just is on the surface propaganda, but which addresses the whole dimensions of the person. I mean, we're not just slogans or rhetoric. We also have day-to-day concerns.
And so I grew up signifying, being 6'1", 131 pounds, with a sister who was just as pretty as my mother. And, every time the brothers would come after her, she'd say, I'm gonna get my brother on you. Well, I couldn't deal with these guys, all right? But I could out-talk them, you see? And, so I would signify. And so poetry lended itself to my vocabulary, my style of writing and talking. And the more I read, the more I saw that this work could be broadened into a wider world.
Hopefully, some of the things that I've done have helped other people. It sounds somewhat altruistic, but I am altruistic. I believe that there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Well, my friends tell me I've mellowed. I think that's probably true. I'm more laid back and relaxed, no less angry, but I've learned how to bank those fires. They're not consumptive, and to use them when necessary. And I'm probably enjoying myself a lot more than I ever have in my life. Little simple pleasures.
I learned over the course of time and experience to try to compete with myself. Not to worry about what anybody else has or does, but just compete with my own work.
And Anderson Thompson talks about this African principle, which is the greatest good for the greatest number of people. And that has been the principle I've tried to live by. What's the greatest good for the greatest number? So therefore, since I've been blessed with the ability to dance with words and the ability for our books to sell, then I felt that I need to put the money back into helping other people.